We won, but the performance was as bad as any other this season, so don't get the party poppers out just yet. Let's go to the whiteboard. Last week I analysed United's 4-1-4-1 defensive formation, and in typical Ten Hag style, he changed something that worked well, went to a 4-4-2 defensive formation, and it facilitated Villa's tactical approach. Villa played with a box midfield. McGinn and Ramsey were positioned behind Mainu and Casemiro, and they didn't know whether to push up to Kamara and Luis or drop back. They ended up sitting in the middle of the box, which allowed Villa to overload United's backline, and Villa pulled us about, creating pockets of space. This is an example of Villa's box midfield against United's 4-4-2 defensive formation. With Fernandes and Højlund defending Villa's possession back three, it left Mainu and Casemiro isolated in Villa's box midfield, and no one knew what to do, to push up or drop back. They did neither, which left Ramsey and McGinn in these pockets of space. The ball goes out to Moreno, and we can see how one pass has bypassed Mainu and Casemiro, with Ramsey and McGinn goal side of them, and the overload this created on Varane and Maguire. This is another example of Villa's box midfield. McGinn and Ramsey are behind Mainu and Casemiro, creating this 5-on-4 overload on United's back four. Dallow's body position is horrible here because he is hedging his bets between Ramsey and Moreno due to Garnacho not getting back enough, and Ramsey gets on the inside of Dallow. Now this isn't exactly a Villa box midfield, but three of Villa's midfield are behind two of United's midfield. Consequently, Varane comes out to engage Ramsey, leaving Maguire having to come across to Watkins, leaving Shaw in a 2-on-1 with Bailey and McGinn. The ball goes into McGinn, Maguire comes back out to McGinn, leaving Watkins in this huge space. Although United have the numbers, the positions Villa's midfield were taking up pulled United all over the field. So what tactical tweaks could Ten Hag have made at half-time? Quite simply, go back to the 4-1-4-1 defensive formation he used against West Ham. This would have allowed Dallow to go out to Moreno, who was playing virtually as a winger. This midfield player could drop in on this man, Casemiro could come across to plug this gap, and the wide man could tuck in on the base of Villa's box midfield. So what happened? Nothing. Ten Hag went back out with the same 4-4-2 defensive formation, and we can see again how Villa's box midfield continued to pull United all over the field. Casemiro has been pulled out of the centre by McGinn, creating this huge space for Kamara to burst into, with Fernandes letting him go, and Dallow has been pulled in field by Ramsey. McGinn, Kamara and Ramsey are all goal side of Fernandes and Mainu, completely exposing United's back four, and we can now see Ramsey in the box unmarked and should have scored. Despite Ten Hag's poor tactical approach, the execution from the players was as bad. Fernandes and Højlund defended appallingly from the front. In this situation, one of them should be on the centre circle spot to cut out the ball into Watkins. That not being the case, we have this massive corridor of space, giving Carlos this ball into Watkins, and Villa are up the field in two passes. Same situation, the positioning of Fernandes and Højlund gives Carlos the gap to play this pass into Watkins, and one pass beats the whole of United's forward defensive line. And we just didn't learn our lesson. Carlos again on the ball, Ramsey in a pocket of space. In this situation, Casemiro is out of position, and Dallow has his arm out showing him the danger, but United's front line didn't do anywhere near a good enough job of shadow marking the players behind them. Front line taken out of the game again. And I just wanted to analyse this piece of play just to make sure that you all know how bad this performance was. We have 4 United players on 2 Villa players. Fernandes should see that and push up into McGinn's face. As McGinn plays the pass, Fernandes flops a limp leg out and Rashford just watches Diaby get into the space. With 4 United players on that side, it's not possible for McGinn to have that much time and space and then no one to go with Diaby, but this lot made it possible. The devil's verdict is, Unai Emery tied Ten Hag up in knots. If this game ended up 3, 4 or 5-1 to Villa, we couldn't have had any complaints. The fact Villa couldn't hit a barn door is not our problem, but the tactical ineptitude of Ten Hag and lack of game intelligence from the players can't be ignored, because we will start losing games again if this doesn't improve. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.